Well, we've made it to the end of 2024 in Power Fantasy. It's time for our award presentation to close out the last part of the year here. We're starting, of course, with the AA Awards. To qualify, a wrestler must be above the average of wins, total matches, and win percentage, and below the average of losses and draws. The current average is 7.9 wins, 6.8 losses, 0.8 draws, 15.4 total matches, and a 56.2 win percentage. The number of qualified wrestlers for the final part of the year is 2. First up, we have Bonami with 13 wins, 4 losses with a 76.5% win percentage. And we also have Mistake with 10 wins and 6 losses, a 62.5% win percentage. Now, the AA Awards are about celebrating wrestlers who are above average, and there's one wrestler who is very, very far above average here in Power Fantasy this year, so we thought we'd spend some time to discuss why John Bobson did not win a single AA award. And it's actually very simple. When you look at the total matches average from the AA Awards all year, starting from 3.6 and ending at 15.4, John Bobson was always slightly behind the average. Very slightly, as you can see in part 3. He's only 0.3 of a match. So, if he had wrestled one more match in the first part of the year, he would have qualified for AA awards all year. So, this goes to show this is the kind of award that can really summarize a year, but it can't always do it. We can definitely summarize parts of it. And John Bobson's whole year, though, is more impressive. We'll get to that as we go on our countdown. We got some fun facts for you, though. 30 wrestlers received votes. 8 wrestlers received plus 10 votes. No member of the Thermite Party made the top 5. And starting next year, we will reveal the wrestlers who received 10 votes but did not make the top 5. Runner-up category. We felt it was time. And speaking of time, it's the return of some comments. 1-800-BILLION. Keep grinding, boss. GPW's Betsy Hubble will turn your whole shit into rubble. Lisa Frank 2, killer for life, never for hire. And Trashywood Man again, the road to acceptance is so long. It's so true. And speaking of truth, it's time to start with the top 5. Number 5, Ultim Ashley, who did not show up for our photo sessions all throughout the season. And as a result, this is all we have. It's just our backdrop. I don't know when the next time we'll see Ashley is after everything that went down. Number 4, Noah Gripe, who worked through the work stoppage, an impressive team with the former ABT Grand Champion Akane, and ended up defeating Akane with a Sweetener remix at SPF 18 to tie the Power World Series. Stressed me out, but it's still an impressive performance from Noah. Number 3, Tom Ryder, who advanced to the second round of the fantasy battle and then worked through the work stoppage, beating Neon Ferdinand. Also managed to force a draw with the Hierophant, depriving both of them from a dual record of 5 AA awards. The only other person who's ever done that is Flint Trombone of Cockshire. And he was picked for the Power World Series, but he got upset by our number 2, Luxury Levy, who made round 2 of the fantasy battle with the Jackalope Kid, and was one of the first wrestlers to join the work stoppage that forced Animate's hand into allowing the Power World Series to go down the way it did. And at SPF 18, she beat Tom Ryder, which is the biggest win of her career by far. This is a rising star in Power Fantasy, and we can't wait to see what the next year holds. But this year, well, our number 1 is John Bobson for the end of the year, who saved Power Fantasy by stopping by starting the work stoppage that gave us the Power World Series, and then won the Power World Series by beating Ultim Ashley. This is his second MVPF award. His first was the second part of the first year, so 4 years ago was the last time he was an MVPF. From last December, being at the lowest point of his career, all the way to finishing this year undefeated, having saved Power Fantasy and being rewarded with the MVPF award. So congratulations to John Bobson, and we'll see you next week with the breakdown. Well, actually, no. Next Monday, pardon me, is Best Match of the Year, and the week after that, we're going to talk about our awards. It's all going to be great. The year's coming to an end. It's time for celebration, and I hope John Bobson is celebrating wherever he is. The MVPF number 20 to close the year in Power Fantasy. We'll see you next week.